Hi, everybody. I just have two quick resolutions tonight. The first one is for appointment to the EMC, the representative for the town of Hillsdale, Mary King. That's for a 2-year term.
I'll
Need a
move
motion.
it.
Got a second?
Patsy,
Who seconded it?
Patsy did.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Sounds good.
Okay, and the second resolution is also for an appointment. It's to amend resolution number 71, 2021, to add a member to the Columbia County Climate Smart Communities Task Force. It would be the representative for the town of Germantown. It wasn't included on the initial resolution. So the person's name is Matthew Messier, and he was nominated by the Germantown supervisor to participate in the climate smart communities activities and act on the task force.
I'll make that motion as well.
Well,
Second, Rick.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's it. What else you got?
That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
Patrice.
good night, everybody.
Thank you, Patrice. Next up is Human Resources.
Good evening.
So, how are you, Michael?
Thank you. So we have our standard resolution where we have to establish standard workdays for certain elected and appointed officials for New York State retirement reporting.
Standard thing we do every year. I'll make the motion.
Yes, thank you. sir.
Yuri.
Second, Rick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
And the second is likewise, this is establishing standard workdays. One of them is for elected official, another is for positions that were, either changed or newly created for establishing a standard workday. So this one, for example, was changing the title from the county established a county engineer's position rather than our public health engineer. And in addition to 2 district attorney positions that had not been on file with retirement for the standard workday of court liaison and community liaison.
Need a motion.
I'll move it.
Second, Yuri.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. That was quick.
Thanks, Mike.
I try, thank you.
Okay, we need MIS is up. Rick?
Good evening, everyone. I have three requests tonight. The first one is to request authorization to fill one chief information officer position by provisional appointment. That's where we, through a resignation, we have the position of CIO open in the department. So the request is to permission to fill, authorization to fill that position.
Need a motion.
Adams.
Need a second.
Patsy.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next.
Thank you. And speaking of that resignation, the second request we have is authorization to enter into a contract with Zeb Haggerty to provide us, he's the former CIO, and we'd like to enter into a contract with him where he will provide us services for the following year in relation to specific projects that we currently have going on that we need support with, including the administrative software for the county, Munis and Kronos. We're going through some big upgrades with those projects, with those applications, and we would contract with Zeb to continue providing services to see us through those upgrades and training on the new products also.
How much is he going to be paid? Oh, sorry, $65 an hour. What do you expect the compensation to be?
It's I'm sorry, it would be 65 an hour. It would be pretty much a full-time thing for approximately, let's see, till the end of June, at which point it would go on a per diem, more of a per diem.
So $65 an hour for 40 hours a week.
22.75 a week. Like in Schedule B of the contract.
Yeah.
Rick, is this budgeted?
It's not.
It's not budget.
We
Okay.
would have to find it in the budget somewhere, and I'm hoping Ron would assist us with that somewhere. It was came as a surprise to us in the middle of these projects, but Zeb had to make the move for his family at the time we had, and it's certainly cheaper than the $175 an hour from Munis and Kronos that we would need to help support us during these projects.
Gotcha.
Zeb would also be training his replacement and bring that person up to speed, so we would no longer need his services at that point.
Okay, people, what do you think?
I have a question.
Yeah,
We're
please.
We're getting some savings because we're not hiring him as an employee.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense for how much of a swing this could be?
Ron Caponera?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. That's tough to say, Mike, because although we're not hiring as employee, all the backfills, we got to go back to the first resolution. I think we said backfill from within. I don't think there's a decrease in FTEs in all this, Mike, down the road.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be significant savings off the top of my head.
The big, if I could, the big savings would be not hiring Tyler and or Kronos to do the training versus having Zeb do the training of his replacement. And I will say it's important that we have both of these systems. Tyler Munis is our main accounting system, and then Kronos is our payroll system.
And we have scheduled a upgrade for Tyler this year, and upgrades can be very, very complicated within that. And Zeb's our man when it comes to that, and he'll be training Ryan as it goes along for now and for the next one. But critical upgrade for Munis. We do it like every other year. We upgrade to the latest version.
I wish I could say there was some silver lining in it, but it's pure surprise survival mode.
So my next question would be, is it possible for Zeb to train two people so we have a backup?
We plan on doing cross training in the future.
Mm-hmm.
We were bringing Ryan online as a backup, but then Zeb decided to actually resign and leave, so it became a little bit of bad timing where we didn't have a full backup.
But again, I understand that you didn't plan on something like this happening. I would just ask that we pay attention to this, because it could happen again next year.
Sure, it can, and we will. We'll have a Munis backup.
All right, so I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second, Rick.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'd just like to add too that COVID played a big role in this too, in terms of training the backup as well, because Rick's resources got spread pretty thin during the last year because of COVID.
Good point, Matt. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Rick, you got one more, I think?
We do. Yeah, we do. The third is authorization to purchase the setup and monitoring of it's an intrusion protection monitor, and it's from the Center for Internet Security and the MSISAC. I don't want to get too geeky over here, but the MSISAC is our very high level security consulting company. That is, it's a division of Homeland Security and the Center for Internet Security. So what's going on is we got a grant, the county got a grant to work with the Board of Elections to completely segregate the Board of Elections network. So it's another project that we've got recently because it had to be done within a certain amount of time. By December, I believe it had to be well underway and approved. So we are creating an entirely separate network for the Board of Elections right now, as requested by state Board of Elections. The device that we currently have on the network for intrusion protection, that's just getting more and more important. It constantly analyzes our in and out traffic for malicious traffic. The state requires us to have this for the network that the Board of Elections is on. Well, now that the Board of Elections network is going to be segregated, they will be taking their intrusion protection device with them onto their network. So rather than leave the county without an intrusion protection device, we request authorization to enter into a contract for the services of the MSISAC for their Albert sensor. That's its name. It stands for something, but it's the Albert sensor. And not only will it give us the Albert device on our network, constantly analyzing the traffic from malicious traffic to stop things that are entering the network, but it'll also bring us higher level services from the MSISAC, who will monitor this device 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 a year. They'll give us a level of security that we always had the MSISAC there free for us, but going on contract with them with the Albert device will bring us to a whole new level of monitoring by this organization. So, any questions on that one?
Yeah, Brenda has a question, I think.
Please.
Thanks, Gibby. Based on the conversation or the webinar I attended this morning with the Association of Towns, I think it's entirely possible that this could be a part of the ARPA funding, because they are encouraging municipalities to do cybersecurity upgrades. So I don't know if, I think certainly this one might be covered, but also the BOE might be covered as well. So just a thought for those of you who are on finance and looking at how we're going to allocate those funds.
Okay, thank you. The Board of Elections upgrade and their device is already completely covered by certain grants that the state was giving for the Board of Elections themselves.
Okay.
But I would love to look into this one possibly being covered. There is a device that we may get some assistance to from E911. I've been working with Rob Lopez, who said if this device covers his network also, which it would because he uses our internet, he may be able to help us with the actual device. This is the monitoring and the services of the MSISAC.
Okay. Anybody else got questions? No, I need a motion.
Move it, Buray.
Need a second.
Calera.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Take care.
I have the Board of Supervisors next.
Sorry, that's me. We have a resolution to appoint, we missed these appointments at the beginning of the year for the Board of Ethics. So it's looking like we're reappointing Rick Washburn, Mike Nabosny, and Robin Andrews.
I'll make the motion, Adams.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Patsy.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
And again, for the record, the Board of Ethics has 3 Republican members and 3 members that are appointed or recommended by the Democratic Party as well. So.
And we do not get paid.
Is that it, Kelly?
That's it, hon.
Okay,
I'll move that, Patsy.
need a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right,
Okay.
What else do we have?
we have to go into executive session to discuss
Thank
litigation.
you. Bingo. I knew it was coming.
It's on the agenda, Kippy.
I know. That's all right, pal. I'm used to it. Fine. We're going along quick.
I'll
We're
make,
gonna
I need a
give,
motion to go executive session.
okay.
I'll
So
make,
moved.
Second. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, hold on. Oswaldo is having internet problems, so just bear with us.
just ask for a motion in a second and
Need a motion?
Scaleris made the motion.
All right, need a second?
Patsy second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, anybody have anything else? I think that's it, right? Chris, are you done for the night?
Yes.
far? Okay, so we have anything else wants to come from the board?
Ron, do you have anything? Ron Caponera, you're on mute, Ron.
Yes, I do. Okay, we need to talk about the occupancy tax. This is, as you know, a subcommittee has been working on this for several years now. And we've had many meetings with the subcommittee. We also brought the RCS to a board meeting not too long ago, earlier this year, with the supervisors. And I got a lot of feedback from the supervisors. I passed out the resolution to all the supervisors to look at and got feedback. It seems like it's split 50-50 whether or not we should proceed to enter into contract or wait until we actually pass the local law to have an occupancy tax. It's sort of like having the carriage before the horse to do that first. So we had some discussion today on that. I know some of your supervisors want to talk about it today. Maybe after we talk about this, we can throw it back to the committee to see where to go forward with this for that. So I'm going to leave it up to the supervisors. I know some of you want to talk about this. So I'm just going to open it up right now and see what the feeling is for some of your supervisors.
If I could get it started, I'd just like to say that whether we pursue a local law to do the occupancy tax and get the legislative help with that, I think we can start that process now. No matter what happens. So I would propose that we would start the process by working with our state legislators to start moving this forward. And then with Granicus, we can make that decision now or down the road a little bit. As Ron said, maybe kick it back to the occupancy committee. But I think if we can get our, whether it's Assemblyman Tague, Assemblyman,
Ashby.
Assembly Barrett and Daphne Jordan and Senator Jordan on board, I don't think that'll be a problem. I guess Supervisor Hoatling, we would need your help with Assemblywoman Barrett, and we can work with Assemblyman Tague and Senator Jordan on this.
And also Assembly Member Ashby.
Yes.
The county.
We'll get them all on board.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like entering into the contract before we know when the local, I feel like we should do that first and get that ball rolling. Maybe it's a 12-month process. We don't know. So once we get the ball rolling and we have an idea, okay, in 4 months, we think we're going to have this law adopted and ready to go, then maybe, a month or two before that, then we enter in the contract so it's ready to go. I just would hate to enter a contract, pay money, and have it be, 12 to 18 months before we're actually collecting revenues. That's my concern.
And I have had a conversation with our county attorney, Rob Simmons, and Heidi, who's also been working with us from county attorneys. And they feel very strongly that we should do a local law first before entering a contract. That's their feeling. I'm not going to speak for them, but I know that's how they feel.
Rob or Ron Knott, did you get any further information?
So yes, I just got off the phone with Assemblyman Tague, and he said that he didn't think that the legislature would entertain any new taxes at this time, which is what we were told last year. We can go for it, but he just said that, with stimulus money that nobody wanted to try and impose new taxes. He did start to tell me a number of things that are going on in Greene County with regards to this. And again, as we've talked about, some people are happy that the short-term rental business is bringing taxes to the county. And so it's supported that way. But I think there's more questions we need to ask, and I had to jump off the phone with him to get back here to touch base with you. But Yeah, that is what we heard last year, that he didn't think the legislature had the appetite to entertain new taxes, even though I know Rob provided this information earlier that it looks like more than half of the counties have it already. So I'm not opposed to us having it or talking about it, and maybe we bring it up and see what the appetite of the community is on it.
If we were to move forward, Ron, would he sponsor it?
So I think he wanted to know that we were all on board with it. As he said, in Greene County, when it got brought up, there was quite a division. So that was, yeah, he didn't say he wouldn't. He just didn't think that the legislature had the appetite for new taxes, is kind of how he put it.
So are we saying we're gonna hold on this right in the moment? That's what the feeling is?
No, I would prefer that we move it out of committee, move it to finance, let the process take its course. And, at some point, we don't have to follow through. But I think if we were to push, at least get it through this committee, get it to finance, get it to the full board, and we pass it, then it's, it'll be up to the sponsors then to try to get it through. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but we've done our due diligence.
So Matt, you're talking about moving forward with an occupancy tax.
With an occupancy tax, that's it.
So I think my point on that would be, if we brought that to a local law and you got a public hearing and got some out there, get some feedback from all of the supervisors and the community on how people feel about this, it might help us before we actually make a decision to pass the local law too. So
Okay.
not opposed to gathering.
We're never going to know until we start the process.
Exactly. I think we may find some support and some opposition, but
Can we move this now out of this committee over to finance, or what are we going to do? What's the process going to be?
Yeah, I think we can move it. We'd have to develop a resolution, but I'd make a motion that we move forward with the process of doing an occupancy tax. I believe we agreed that it'd be 4%, excluding the city of Hudson.
Okay, we got it. Patsy's got her hand up before anybody else says anything.
Hey, Matt, do you want to, if we need to adopt the resolution, do you want to do a special government meeting before finance?
We can do that. That way we can have a resolution to look at.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we got to move forward a little bit quicker instead of just saying, well, maybe, and just move on and start getting this all in process and move it forward. And it will go faster and we'll see where we are. And then we can have that public hearing and see what people say. I think that's the best thing. We keep saying, well, let's just go ahead and, start the process.
What is that?
That's my opinion.
That's the
How do I put that note?
That's a new language. Listen, I have a couple
Was that
of
a second, Patsy?
Leave me
Was that
alone.
your second? Did you? vote
I
for
understood.
this?
I understood what you're saying.
I knew you did.
So we
Brenda
still
also
need a
has her
second.
hand up, Kippy.
What's that?
Brenda has her
What?
hand up, and
Okay.
so does Tistria.
So,
Okay.
so my question is about process, and that is, if half the counties have this occupancy tax, how can the Assembly or the Senate decline to provide the same standing to other communities?
it happened at a different time, I think, is the only answer to that. And I don't want to speak for our legislatures. Feel free to reach out to any of our legislators and ask that question. But none of these happened before. I think Chris's point was that, with the stimulus money that's been passed out, they recognize that in the state budget that was developed this year, there's going to have to be a lot of new taxes to cover some of these costs going forward. And they don't want us to be able to do the taxing. They want the state to do it, probably.
But the fact is, we still have the expenses associated with managing those properties. So they're denying us the access to offset the access to revenue to offset those expenses.
And I would tell you right now that I think we already have it in sales tax collection, but I'm not opposed to exploring this further to find out whether we want to have an additional sales tax for these.
Well, as I've said many times, what's appealing to me about this is the fact that local people aren't taxed.
Okay. We have,
Supervisor Holding has her hand up on.
okay.
So I look forward to the public hearing process. I will say I'm pretty certain here in New Lebanon, there's a lot of opposition to it. We recently put in some short-term rental legislation into our zoning, just requiring, registration with our building department and some basic overview. We had, one Airbnb where the parking was on the road and those sorts of things. And one of the things that came up is, you're trying to get a database now for when the state or the county start taxing. And I'm not going to say where I stand on the issue, but I do think that there's going to be people on both sides, because we also have bed and breakfasts that have to charge the occupancy tax, that don't feel that it's fair that the Airbnbs are pulling business away from them because they don't have to charge those same fees. And I do tend to lean more towards the government should
taste for taxes.
Okay.
Anybody else?
So logistically, Supervisor Bury recommended that we do a special county government. That way we'll have a resolution in front of us. I believe by passing the resolution to set a date for a public hearing in local law, we're not going to be doing this until July anyways, is my guess. So to set a local law, a meeting date and a public hearing. Recommend we go back to the
moment.
Yes,
occupancy committee and
correct.
And my understanding is if the county passes said local law, that's when the legislature weighs in the state and they could say no. Okay.
yes.
So I have that. I need a second, please, from somebody.
Well, we're not making it. I don't think
Oh,
we're
you're
making
not
it.
now? We're gonna wait?
Well, Matt, you started a motion.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, I'll withdraw that motion.
Okay.
Supervisor Bury had a better idea.
Okay, we'll go with that then. Anybody else have anything want to come up before the committee? I guess not. That's it then, everybody. Thank you. Have a
Can we get
good
a
night.
motion?
Good talk. Thank you.
You want to do a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.